Hello everyone, my name is Jeannie and I'm one of your hosts for today's video. The coronavirus pandemic has always been present in our everyday life, not just because of the various regulations. Each and every one of us can help fight this virus so that our life can go back to normal again. We can do this by washing our hands frequently, keeping distance, and regularly getting fresh air into rooms. But it is also very important to wear a mask. Masks are this video's topics. We will explain to you why you need to wear a mask, what different types of masks there are, and how to wear a mask properly. But before we do that, we have the latest and most important corona numbers for you. Currently, it is mandatory to wear a mask in public areas. When talking, coughing, and sneezing, small saliva droplets fly into the air through which other people can be infected with the coronavirus. Therefore, it is very important to protect yourself and others using a mask, which prevents those saliva droplets from getting into the air. The current regulations are that surgical masks and FFP2 masks have to be worn wherever masks are mandatory. This means that cloth or fabric masks are no longer allowed. Wearing either of the two types of permitted masks is mandatory to go on buses or trains, when shopping or at weekly markets, among other places. You can find the current regulations for Bremen in easy language to understand at the website gesundheit.bremen.de. There are many different types of masks that have come out during the pandemic. The main three types are surgical mask, cloth mask, and the FFP2 or FFP3 mask. The Federal Institute for Drugs and Medical Devices has brought out the following information on this subject. The cloth masks protect against large droplets, but they do not adequately protect against those small particles called aerosols that can infect you. This is not an adequate mask. Surgical masks are better than cloth masks as they do prevent you from those large droplets, and they're also used during medical operations. However, they don't protect you that much as they usually sit very loose on the face. This is still effective, but not an ideal mask. The best way to protect yourself and others is by wearing an FFP2 or FFP3 mask. They don't only protect you from the large droplets, but they also prevent those small particles from entering your respiratory tract if you wear them correctly. Remember, it is very important that the part of the mask that covers your mouth, nose, and the sides of the mask sit tightly against your face. This is an adequate mask. The mask needs to sit well so that mouth, nose, and cheeks are covered. It is important that the edges of the mask sit tight against your face to prevent unfiltered air from flowing around the mask instead of through it. An FFP2 or FFP3 mask can only filter air to its best ability if it's worn properly. Remember when you remove your mask to only touch it at the earlobes and refrain from touching the mask at the parts that touch your nose or your face. After you take off your mask, it is very important that you wash your hands thoroughly for at least 20 to 30 seconds with soap. And now I'll hand it over to other host Kenna, and she'll answer you more questions about masks and give you a preview for next week.
Hi, my name is Kenna, and I will be answering some questions you may have about masks and giving you a preview of next week's video. So, can you wear an FFP2 mask more than once? Both surgical masks and FFP masks are disposable, meaning you should only use them once. However, it is difficult and expensive to buy a new mask after each use. Still, there are methods that can reduce the pathogens on the mask so that it can be used again. Here are some tips to make an FFP2 mask stay effective over multiple uses. Number 1. Dry the mask indoors for at least 7 days. Do not place it on the heater or in the sun. This is not a perfect solution, but the risk of getting infected through multiple uses is reduced significantly. Number 2. Allow the mask to dry indoors until the next day after use. Place the mask in the oven for 60 minutes at 80 degrees Celsius. The temperature should be controlled with an oven thermometer. It is important that the underlayer remains clean. You can ensure this by using a baking paper. And also keep the oven closed the whole time. Pay attention and make sure this process does not go unobserved. Number 3. The mask should not be reused more than 5 times. So, after you have cleaned your mask 5 times, you must throw it away. Number 4. A soaked mask must be replaced by a new mask. And number 5, the same mask should always be worn by the same person. Don't let anybody else use your mask. For more detailed information, we have attached a link for an information flyer from the F.H. Münster and the Federal Institute for Medicine and Medical Devices. We have also attached a link to a general information page called Together Against Corona. You can find these links underneath this video. Looking forward. Next week, we will talk about the COVID vaccines, including how safe the different vaccines are and if they have any side effects. Moreover, we will discuss the steps of the vaccination process, and we will tell you when you will have the chance to get the vaccine according to the German authorities. And now we come to our tip of the week. We have been in lockdown for almost a year now. So, what can be done about the lockdown low? Give your day or week structure by forming an easy routine to stick to. Write a to-do list. It can be fun ticking off the things that you have to do. Make sure to plan some fun activities too, such as cooking some nice food, going on a walk, or watching a movie, all within the current hygiene rules. All these things are good for both our mental and physical health, and are a great way to spend this time. Please stay safe and healthy. Make sure to keep a distance from others and avoid social gatherings, even on these nice spring days. Remember to wear your mask and come back next week for our video about the COVID vaccine. Thank you for watching our video and have a wonderful day. See you next week. These videos are developed by students from Jakobs University here in Bremen and the LFG and AFS Niedersachsen, supported and produced by the SMP Media Center.